Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to this presentation talking about metabolism. Can it be sped up? Can you eat copious amounts of food and not gain weight? Firstly, my qualifications. I am an online coach. I have been for over 12 years now. I've been a personal trainer as well, and I did lots of studying whilst I was going through my early personal training years, as well as developing lots of my knowledge with clients and anecdotally with myself as well. So let's take a deep dive into metabolism and understand a bit of what actually the evidence, science-backed information says, and maybe debunk some of the myths out there. There's all sorts from drinking cold water to building muscle. Countless strategies promise to rev up your metabolism, but what does the science actually say? So first, we need to understand your metabolism. The basics of your metabolism is the calories that you burn day to day. In a fitness context, this refers to your total daily energy expenditure, your TDEE. These are the number of calories that you burn, and a quote-unquote fast metabolism burns more calories, which allows you to have a higher intake of food. And a quote-unquote slow metabolism burns fewer calories, often means you have to diet quite heavily on low calories to actually lose weight. But here are the crucial points. Metabolism varies very dramatically between individuals. But here's the crucial point. Metabolism rates vary dramatically between individuals, far more than most people realize. This variation forms the foundation of understanding whether metabolic intervention actually works or not. So, the shocking truth about individual differences in metabolism. There was a groundbreaking study in 2022, 6,000 subjects, and revealed a staggering metabolic variations between the two people. Two people with identical sex, height, and weight could have vastly different metabolisms, from a 14,000 calorie metabolism burning for an 80 kilo individual, all the way up to a 5,700 calorie burn from exactly the same weight and sex individual. Pretty big difference. So this means that one person would be losing weight on 5,000 calories daily, whilst another person must eat under 1,400 calories to actually lose weight. When it comes to interventions, there are a few things which I personally think are very helpful, and also a few myths. Let's move on. Drinking cold water. It works a very, very tiny bit. Each glass of cold water approximately burns 8 extra calories. Your body expends energy heating up the cold water to your body temperature, creating a genuine metabolic boost. Cold water provides a larger boost than room temperature water. However, it's not really very practical. You'd have to be drinking 10 glasses of extra cold water per day to burn 80 extra calories, which is less than one banana. Plus, focusing on water consumption can lead to dangerous levels of water intoxication. So instead, drink 8 to 12 glasses of water, or 2 to 3 liters, and get guided by your natural thirst signals. Green tea. Overhyped and underwhelming. Despite 40 million Google results linking green tea to a faster metabolism, science tells us a very different story. A comprehensive 2021 systematic review found that disappointing results. Acute effect of this study was 4 studies examining immediate metabolic effect. 3 found no effect whatsoever, and 1 study showed a 79 calorie increase, but involved just 10 subjects in 24 hours. So a very small pool of individuals. Long-term fat loss. 2 studies examined green tea impacts on fat loss over extended periods and found no benefit on weight management whatsoever. Okay, so the verdict on that one, any metabolic boost that green tea doesn't translate to meaningful fat loss over time. Spicy food and cold therapy. Chili pepper increases your energy expenditure by 69 calories per day. Great number. But only overweight individuals with BMIs over 25%. Actually, typically spicy meals might boost metabolism by just around about 20. Okay. The real benefit increased satiety, and slower eating pace. So because chilies give you a little bit of a digestive discomfort, that can make you feel more satiated, more full, and it will probably require you to eat slower because spicy food takes a little bit of time to get down. Sauna sessions. So a 10-minute sauna approximately burns 19 extra calories compared to 14 calories of just sitting in a room. So there's not really much of a benefit there. 5 calories difference. So the equivalent of chewing one stick of gum also burns about 5 calories. Ice baths. A neck deep cold immersion for 10 minutes burns about 28 calories versus 14 calories at sitting at room temperature. So a 14-calorie boost can hardly justify the discomfort of an ice bath for most people. However, I will say that ice baths do have benefits for mental fortitude and potentially controlling your body's urges. So there are minimal returns from eating spicy food, minimal returns from ice baths and saunas. Building muscle. Okay, so here's one of the real game changers. Here's where the science is actually pretty exciting. Muscle tissue is generally a metabolically active. It burns calories 3 times more than it would of fat tissue at rest. So fat tissue at rest burns about 2 calories per pound per day, and muscle tissue burns about 6 calories per pound per day. Okay, so consider this a practical example. If you gain 30 to 40 pounds of muscle over 5 years, it's kind of a realistic number for a new lifter, you'd increase your daily energy expenditure by about 180 to 200 calories. That's 4 extra kiwi fruits that you could eat per day whilst maintaining the same weight. The most significant metabolic boost we've examined has been muscle growth. Build muscle represents the most effective long-term strategy for increasing your metabolism. Cardio. This is a little interesting one for cardio. Energy compensation. So the compensation effect, whilst cardio obviously burns calories, your body does fight back through energy compensation. When you increase exercise, your body subconsciously reduces non-exercise activity thermogenesis, aka NEAT. This is fidgeting, head bobbing, general movements, blinking, more for some individuals. Okay. Research shows that for extra 100 calories burnt through cardio, you'll only actually increase the total daily energy expenditure by about 72 calories. So the remaining 28 calories are then compensated for through reduced spontaneous exercise. A little example for you: if you normally burn 500 calories through daily fidgeting and added in a 500 calorie jog, you might only burn 350 calories through fidgeting afterwards. So your net benefit is 350 calories, not 500 calories that showed up on the treadmill. Okay, so it's never a complete science, and all of these Apple Watches that you see that burn calories and tell you how many calories you've burnt, and it's not as simple as just you've burnt 500 calories, so you can eat an extra 500 calories. The metabolic mask. So the simple system that works every single time is not actually one that increases your metabolism. There's a simple system that I have used many times to eat more food and not gain weight, and it is simply more movement. If you do 10,000 steps, you will burn 350 to 400 extra calories per day. If you hit 20,000 steps in a day, I can almost guarantee that you'll be able to eat about 1,000 calories over your current maintenance and not gain weight. It is as simple as that. You move more, you're able to eat more. I would never encourage you to try and overly compensate for food or binge or something like this with lots of extra expenditure. This is usually something that you work up to, but this is a true way of being able to increase your metabolism, sort of, but just eat more calories because you've burnt more calories. So, emerging strategies and practical tips. There have been things like weighted vests used. This is a simple metric that will burn more calories because you are simply moving more weight. Walking day to day at a 80 kg person versus a 100 kg person, the 100 kg person is going to burn more calories. And your body doesn't know if that's 20 extra kgs of fat or if it's 20 extra kgs of just weight on your body. Neat smuggling. Okay, small little extra bits of activity add up throughout the day. Parking a little bit further away from your destination, taking the stairs over the escalator, standing at your desk. These are smuggling techniques to add in extra movement that can meaningfully boost your daily energy expenditure without formal exercise. Avoid extreme dieting. When going very low in calories, this tanks out your metabolic rate. Aim to lose 0.1 to 1% of your body weight weekly. This will preserve your metabolism a lot better. Slower, sustainable approaches maintain a higher metabolic rate in the long term and also retain more muscle mass. Avoid drastic calorie fluctuations. Try to not overly compensate for a binge or going over on your food with reducing your calories to an extreme. Although it can be helpful for fat loss, do not get into the habit of doing it over and over. This seesawing in your calories can have an effect on your metabolic rate. Methodical calorie increases. Using a slow, gradual increase in your calories after a fat loss phase when you've gotten down to a low body fat percentage has been shown multiple times to help increase your metabolism. It takes a careful it requires careful monitoring and adjustments over months. Avoid intermittent fasting. Although fat loss is usually the same when calories are equated, whether you're fasted or not fasted, there has been observed down regulation in neat non-exercise thermogenesis when you are fasted versus non-fasted. So if you spend half of your day or more in a fasted state, you're going to burn less calories during that time because you're going to be moving less. You're going to be less expressive. Those bits of fidgeting then get down regulated and you are burning less calories. My own experience, I have maintained my weight on 4,500 to 5,200 calories whilst pushing my training and muscle building ability. I reached this after a successful competition prep, going down to single digit body fat and then methodically increasing my calories over a 4-month period of reverse dieting. A slow and methodical approach can really help to keep your metabolism in a very positive place. My weight slowly increased, and when it got to a point where I maintained for 10 to 14 days, I would then increase again. I completely ignored my activity levels day to day and instead focused more on the day that I would increase my baseline calories, not just I've done more exercise today, so I'm going to eat more today. The bottom line, what actually works? Building more muscle definitely works. The most significant boost in your metabolism and sustainable approach is to strength train and build muscle. Increasing your NEAT. Small bits of daily exercise compound into a meaningful calorie burn over time. Avoid extreme diets and fluctuations in your calorie intake. Moderate your calorie deficit. Preserve your metabolic rate rather than crash dieting. This also goes for extreme diets, cleanses, and other options out there. Remember, a successful weight management depends more on your consistent physical activity, regular weight readings, strength training, and sustainable diet changes rather than a fast metabolism. Even with a slow metabolic rate, you can absolutely achieve your fitness goals through smart, evidence-based strategies. Metabolic rate isn't nearly as predictable for long-term success of weight loss as many people think. Consistency trumps metabolism every single day of the week. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, don't forget to give this video a like and consider subscribing. I put out lots of content like this on a weekly basis to help you get in the best shape of your life and learn more about your body, training, nutrition, and everything else. I will speak to you in the next one. If you're interested in any forms of coaching, DM me on Instagram. Remember to be nice to people, eat your protein, do your cardio, and I'll see you in the next one.